Sean and Rachel, YaJagoff Late Night. Welcome back. And listen, it is the last episode of 2023. So hard to believe the holidays are over. I'm not sad, except I'm really happy to welcome you back. You went on a little holiday yourself. Yeah, right. So welcome. This is the first I've seen you all week.
That's right.
Happy holidays. But this means that we are coming up on first night. We're coming up on all the excitement of the first of the year.
So you're listening to the podcast, or either the podcast, you're listening to it on the radio at 10 o'clock Friday night, or you're watching it on YouTube and Facebook. All we're doing is asking you to say like it, maybe share it, and at least subscribe to it wherever you're catching it, video-wise, listening-wise. Just subscribe to it. We would appreciate it because every Friday night we're here.
Yes, so join us, 5000 McKnight Road, floor 4. We have some folks here today, small businesses who came to visit. They just want to hang out. They bring drinks and food, you guys, so do it yourself. Tomorrow, wake up and you need to do this. Go vote. What are you voting for? The best of the 11, because we did a Jag contest and you guys all kind of participated with your comments and your likes. But now we are putting out the official who are you choosing of the 11 Jagoff, what are we calling them, demonstrations?
Spelling.
Okay.
Yeah, spelling. And here's an example. The Yins Lids ladies did one where they were so proud they laid by it right here. But
laid across.
In the meantime, we're going to talk about first night, which you just brought up.
Yes.
And Sarah Aziz, you were down there watching the poll, the light thing go up. Sarah Aziz is going to explain it to you now.
Everyone should definitely come down to Highmark First Night Pittsburgh. We kick off at 6 p.m. with the Dollar Bank Children's Fireworks, and then we smush a whole bunch of stuff in between until the midnight fireworks to lead us into 2024. So come down to see Zuzu African Acrobats and the Fire Tree Project. Get tours of the Everyone should definitely come down to Highmark First Night Pittsburgh. We kick off at 6 p.m. with the Dollar Bank Children's Fireworks, and then we smush a whole bunch of stuff in between until the midnight fireworks to lead us into 2024. So come down to see Zuzu African Acrobats and the Fire Tree Project. Get tours of the Benedum Center and the Byam Theater. Come see the Flow Band and Alumni Theater Company and a Japanese sword dancer, and please, please, please stay to see Lindsay Smith ring in 2024. It's really not to be missed. trustarts.org/firstnightpgh for all of the activities.
It's so important for Highmark Health to be engaged, and certainly, the importance of a vibrant downtown and, having something for the families, for our community, and working closely with the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust.
All right, so make sure you go down to first night. In the meantime, here's who's on tonight's show. We're talking Museum of Illusions.
Mystery. It is a mystery because if you don't know how to drive to the North Shore, you don't know it's there. But we're really excited because Stacy drove all the way from Chicago just so she could come on and tell us about it, and the Museum of Illusions. And we are going to talk to Michelle from Row House because they are not just telling you about resolutions. They're telling you that there is a movie out called The Boat Boys that relate to rowing, and they're tying it in. They're making it fun. Your resolutions. Makes sense, right?
That's right.
And our anchor guest is?
Right, Allante from Talk Pittsburgh. He's one of the two people that run around all in the background making sure the show looks great and all the guests are great. So we're going to, maybe we'll get him to tell a little background secrets.
We won't. He's not that guy.
Here
we go. We won't.
We won't.
Anyway, we're glad you're with us on YaJagoff Late Night. We're excited for tonight's show. Stay with us.
At People's Natural Gas, we provide clean, safe, reliable natural gas. We're always looking to get cleaner as we continue to protect our environment. And that's also why we support organizations like the National Aviary that are focused around the clock on conservation. Let's hear from them about some of their efforts.
A lot of people know about the National Aviary, but not a lot of people know all the conservation work that the National Aviary does. We are part of a lot of conservation work out in the field, and we do things here at the National Aviary. Staff members like myself are part of a lot of different projects. To learn more about the conservation work that the National Aviary does, you can check out our website, aviary.org.
We're also always working to make our environment cleaner through our work. That's why we've reduced emissions since 2019 by 17% over 2019 figures.
Rach, I have to vent. Here's my dryer vent. This one time, I found a lead press-on nail in my dryer stuff, and It was not mine.
Vom in the throat.
Ugh.
One time, my kids left Kleenexes from one of their worst whooping coughs in their pocket.
Guys, you guys are such jagoffs. That's not the type of dryer venting we're talking about. We professionally clean your dryer vent to increase your dry time and save you guys some money.
For
Soaking
4
wet,
hours.
like 10 pounds
You
wet.
jagoffs, you need to get your dryer vents cleaned.
Both. You can. John and Rachel, you YaJagoff late night. Listen, it's when you forget to tell the guests where they look, you get caught explaining it whenever you're on commercials. So we are back on YaJagoff late night, and you would think it's our first episode. We're fumbling like crazy. We have the holiday like hiccups or something.
In the meantime, cousin Lisa's playing Pac-Man in the
course she
back
is.
there, right? Because,
Of course she is.
right?
Yeah.
So, because she loves the show so much, that
she's
she
so
just
into
wants
it.
to watch it later. She
Right.
wants to be surprised.
So listen, Eileen French, our dear friend, reached out and said there is this really cool new thing coming to Pittsburgh, and I want you guys to be a part of it. Well, we were Googling, the old Google, and we looked at the website, and we were just completely enamored that our North Shore was going to have such a thing. And the next thing you know, Tracy had already reached out to Stacy, who was in Chicago, and was like, I am in for coming on. That's
Right.
how cool we are.
Yeah, it was-
Chicago people want to come on.
And-
You cannot claim the term Jagoff. The Chicago
No.
people try to do
Yeah,
it, and
we'll
then-
arm wrestle
yes.
over that one. Yeah. So Stacy Steck from Museum of Illusions,
Yes.
and this is super cool. We were down there to see this thing, and tell everybody. Like, we're on the radio. We have a little bit of video we'll show later, but tell everybody what Museum of Illusions
Sure.
is.
So Museum of Illusions it's really a one-of-a-kind kind of place. It's an immersive optical illusions experience. So, and immersive, attractions are really all the rage right now. People want to be fully immersed in what they're experiencing.
Right.
And you get to really be fully immersed into the world of optical illusions.
Sure.
So it's a lot of fun. We do call it an edutainment concept as well. So
Okay.
it is just like it sounds, part education, part
Yeah, I would agree.
entertainment.
Yeah.
So
It is, yeah.
it's very much like a museum that's rooted in inquiry and discovery, but also like a place where you can go ahead and have fun, like an attraction. So we're a nice mix of both. And the cool thing is you'll learn a thing or two about vision and perception, but you're also going to have fun while doing it. You're not even going to realize you're really learning anything.
Right. And Stacy, I think we have to make a point. It is not a pop-up.
No, it's
not
a
going
pop-up.
away.
Right.
No.
Yeah, that was the big thing. That was our
Yeah.
first question when,
Yes.
when Eileen contacted us. This is here.
Yeah, we are here. We are here to stay. We are fully invested in, the North Shore here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So we're thrilled to be here.
Biggest question, why Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh. Well, Pittsburgh was always on the radar for us, to be completely honest, from a personal side. And I think Pittsburgh is also really interesting because Pittsburgh has, it's a city of innovation, but also rich history and tradition. And that's kind of like optical illusions, too. We have unveiled some brand new, never before seen optical illusions at the museum where, innovation and technology are, forefront in those illusions, but there's also classic illusions that you may have seen in a psychology textbook, back in high school.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, I think I've seen this before. I know how this one works.
Yeah.
So we have a mix of both, and that's almost like Pittsburgh too. But from a personal side, our team has, we have a Philadelphia location, a Chicago location, and we always knew that we wanted to open Pittsburgh. My team is small. There's 3 of us. So 2/3 of us went to Penn State. So we have a lot of family and friends here in the Pittsburgh area. So we always knew we wanted to open in Pittsburgh. And we found the right place in the North Shore.
That's super cool. Now, we're going to run some video here to kind of show everybody what we're doing here. But I think your job must be super cool in the fact that you go to see how these illusions are even developed before they even make it to the museums, right?
Yeah,
Like,
so-
what's that like?
So the museum actually started in Croatia. So we do
Okay.
have headquarters out there, and they have an R&D department that's always coming up with these new illusions. So the cool thing about Pittsburgh being the newest location, we also have some of the newest exhibits that other museums don't have.
Okay.
So it's so fun.
So they're not all the same.
They're not all the
Okay.
same. There are many that are the same. When you come to a Museum of Illusions, you're going to see an Ames room. That's the room you walk into, and one person appears to be towering over the other person. There's also also the vortex tunnel, which is, proven to be a fan favorite very quickly.
Yes.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
I don't like it, but I did it.
You did it.
Yeah.
I know you experienced it. That's when you have to experience to really feel the effect of the illusion, as opposed to the rest of them where you can actually look at them, through a picture, and it looks, you can see the effects of the illusion on your eyes. This one, the vortex tunnel, you actually feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do.
Though the coolest one in my mind was this red chair thing, which was just on it. So it just looks like a stick sticking up, and then this flat thing over here in the corner, and then
that's a great description.
It's just you don't even you look at it. I don't know what that is,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then when you get the right angle, the woman helped Rachel get down to the chair, and then I stood out front and was like,
Okay,
"Are you
I didn't need
kidding
help.
me?"
Like I was this elderly person who was like, "Help, Rachel!"
Is it? Are you so defensive at the end of the year?
Seriously,
Helped her figure out like how we should do this because she had to tell us like how to hold our hands.
Yep.
Yeah,
like
true.
like
You're
do,
right.
do like a high five. So she helped us make like this great picture, and we're literally this far apart.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, it looks like she's 6 miles away from me.
And we
we're
high-fived. We were
high-fiving.
clev.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could do some fun poses with those. And that's the whole forced perspective
Yeah.
part of the museum is there's a lot of rooms or exhibits you look at and you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
And those, the sticks and the platform on the ground, when you have the right perspective and you move back a little bit, it actually forms what appears to be a chair, but it's really not a chair at all.
At all,
So
yeah.
whoever is sitting on that platform appears to be a very tiny person in a very large chair, but like you said, it's not even a chair.
Didn't even need help getting
loved
to the
it.
chair, as a matter of fact. So the other thing that was super cool, it took us, we did not figure it out. It's at the end.
yeah,
The
right.
locker room that's
We needed help.
sideways.
Yes.
So we were
John
in
was-
there taking videos and taking pictures, and these two gentlemen behind us said,
They were like,
do you know what
"Stupid
you're
people.
supposed to do?
Jagoff." Yeah.
Right. They said, this is this. And so
It was
then
a
we took
baseball
the
bat,
picture,
right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was super cool, like, the fact that once you figure out what it is, like, that's just super
For
cool.
sure. And that's why having staff at the museum is so important.
Yeah.
When you come to the museum, it is a self-guided experience, but we do have staff stationed all around the museum, and they are well-versed.
that's all the time, you mean?
Yes,
Okay.
all the time. So that way, because we understand when you walk into some of these rooms, you're going to be like, what is this? What am I looking for? There's so many people see optical illusions very differently, and it's hard for us too, especially as adults, to think outside the box sometimes and see it from a different perspective. So that's the cool nature about the museum, but that's the reverse room. You look at it and it looks like a room that's completely turned on its side.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You throw a teenager in there with their phone, they know how to edit it and flip it and make the illusion show up, on their camera.
Right.
But as adults, we might need a little bit of extra help
Yeah.
there.
I think it's super cool from
Clearly,
like a
I
team
do.
building standpoint. If you're taking a team, like your sales team or something, to go there and get a different perspective on life or your
100%.
sales goals or whatever, I think it's just a fun thing that, you look at things a certain angle, they line up, you know what you're looking at. If you don't line up everything correctly. So to me, it's a great team building concept.
It is. And you mentioned that like with team building, it is very popular for adults and for corporate events to come through because, we're not a place where you're going to stand around in the same place and, talk to your coworkers the whole time. You're actually going to engage with them and you're going to laugh and you're going to, be able to size them up in different rooms. So it's really fun. And it's almost a way to escape reality, if you will.
Yeah. The mirrors.
Yeah,
it took us a while to figure that out.
because there was not a person at that station.
Right,
let's
right.
be clear. Plus, we were talking. Yeah, one of your staff were not there, so we were like, "Wait!" But then we figured it out. So it's like your bottom half and your upper half kind of.
Oh yes, where the mirrors
twined.
That's our swap bodies corridor.
That's what
so
I meant. The
we
swap
have,
body.
Yeah.
Yes.
She usually does initials, but she want to make you give it up.
Yeah, I was like, come on, Stacy,
Yeah.
you know.
So that one, I mean, it's really mirrors. There's a lot of mirrors in the museum, and a lot of mirror tricks. It's interesting how we see our reflections, and we kind of play on that a little bit at the museum. But you can, choose wisely who you're going to swap bodies with. That's
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, it was awkward. Now, the one where you can hang, remember, we weren't getting the concept.
yeah.
I laid down, and then I was like, oh, we're hanging.
The
so
building.
that's obviously different
Yes.
in each city? Or
It is
no?
different. Yes, it is
Okay.
different in each city, and some cities don't even have that. So
Sure.
that's one of the newer ones. It is our building illusion. So when you walk up and you see it, you see like a facade of a building on the floor. But if you look up, there's some mirrors right above it that
Right.
are slanted at an angle. And what you do is people lie on the floor on the facade of this building, and you take a photo of the mirror that's up on the ceiling, and it looks like they're dangling from a second-story balcony.
Yeah, I liked it. It was very
Yeah,
different.
that was super cool.
And I love the fact that, one, it is in the North Shore. So it's not in our cultural district where, you may expect it to be, where we have the Liberty Magic and things like that. It's not in Oakland where a lot of our museums habitually reside. And it's not a traditional museum. And you're kind of birthing what the new idea of a museum is.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be this stuffy experience where you're kind of walking through and seeing artifacts, right?
Exactly. We want people to engage, and we want people to fully immerse themselves in it, where you're right, a lot of things at traditional museums are very hands-off. You can't touch it. You can't interact with it. You learn a lot from it, of course, and they're, great, wonderful institutions, but, we just really kind of flip the script on museums.
Yeah, I love it. It's, as you said, it's in a walking area where people can just pop in. So,
Wait, did you know this? She was a teacher for 12 years, and that is what piqued her interest.
How about that?
Yes.
How about that little
I did.
stalker, Rachel?
There you go, stalker Rachel.
When I first saw Museum of Illusions, I was teaching 3rd grade at the time, and my first impression was my students would love this.
Yeah.
I loved it as an adult, and I thought too, my class would love to do something like this. So that's why, I thought it was such a cool concept, because I had, at the time, never seen anything like it.
Yeah. No,
you hadn't been to Croatia, that's why.
I hadn't yet. I hadn't. No, where the very first one was. So
that's so cool.
Where does everybody find out more about the museum?
So you can go to our website, moipittsburgh.com. We do recommend purchasing tickets in advance on our website. We have, especially over winter break, have a lot of sold out time slots. So
it blocks of time.
Yes. So it is timed entry. We do prioritize that guest experience. We don't want it to be overcrowded. So we try to control that as much as possible, just so everybody has a great experience and a great time at the museum. So moipittsburgh.com is where you can get tickits, and you can learn more about the museum.
You're on all the socials.
On all the socials.
It's
Yes.
Moy. It's M-O-I.
Moi.
Moi Pittsburgh. Yeah, I love that. All right, so we understand you may have brought us a junk drawer gift from Chicago.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's see. It is. It's an old junk drawer. That is such a tongue twister.
It is.
So I have 2 Pennsylvania lottery tickets that are old. So if you win anything, you cannot cash them.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But things just have their way. I mean, they're well over a year old. So I actually looked up today with our sales and marketing coordinator at the museum. I said, when do these things actually expire?
Yeah.
And he's like 90 days from the purchase. So
even
if
if it
you
was a
do
mill.
win something,
you don't.
you don't. So it's.
I love
do
that.
we want to scratch it off or not? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's up to you guys.
mean,
But
you
there
never know.
happen
I
to
like
be
it.
2.
I like it. We'll
They were
gladly
meant for
take
both of my
those.
children, but they've been in the junk drawer for over a year.
Or
so
drunk.
they
The
have no
drunk drawer
idea.
is even better. We have one of those over there in the kitchen.
Right?
No, that is
Such
awesome.
a tongue twister.
Do you see
Junk
why the whole junk drawer
drawer.
thing is such a cool? We love seeing what people
Yeah.
bring. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
love that.
All right, and now that you have been on the YaJagoff podcast, you're officially a Pittsburgher, and we get to ask you the question of the day, which John said is a good question.
Do
Now,
it.
everybody is not in a soundproof booth,
Yeah.
so they're going to hear this and have time to think.
Oh.
So, what were you most likely to in high school? What was yours?
I wasn't a most likely to, but
Okay.
I was most. I want to say it might have been 8th grade. Most gullible. I'm embarrassed to say.
Now
Really?
you can bring all those people who voted into the Museum of Illusions,
Right.
moi, and
Moi.
and say, "Look at me, look at me."
There you go.
Right.
Is it moi or moi?
Moi. Yeah, I guess it's
Can be both.
Yeah.
I love that she's like, let's settle this because they're going to go at it any second. So we'll say it's both. No. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the fact that we were so excited to come experience it, and you were equally excited to come talk about it. And you can
Yes.
tell just by meeting you that this is such your passion.
It is. It's really fun. And, I think it's all about, that's what it's all about, having fun and
Yeah.
enjoying
definitely is.
yourself.
Yeah.
So,
We appreciate
head
you
down to
honored
North Shore.
Pittsburgh with it.
Yeah,
one
for
of
sure.
47 in the whole world.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
So-
Well, we appreciate you bringing it here because Pittsburgh deserves it. Let's face it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, check it out. We appreciate you. And we get to chat it up about what is it? Boys in the Boat? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's a great movie that's coming out. And our friends at Row House are going to give us a little initiative on why we need to exercise more and how it relates. Stay with us on YaJagoff Late Night.
People used to celebrate hard work, the spirit of the underdog. You don't hear too much about those things anymore. The world needs more problem solvers, people who know results matter, folks with brains and elbow grease. Our work runs through just about every office building in the city like a network of veins. It's not what you are that makes you a steam fitter. It's who you are.
PittsburghUsedCars.com, with hundreds of used cars across 8 dealerships throughout the city. We provide the greater Pittsburgh area with a premium used car buying experience. Looking for unbeatable pricing on some of the best used cars in Pittsburgh? Visit Pittsburgh Used Cars Clearance Zone today. We're providing out-the-door pricing on all of our clearance zone inventory. PittsburghUsedCars.com.
One of your number one sellers there is your chocolate covered pretzels. And how does that process?
So our chocolate covered pretzels are made specifically for us. They're specially made, they're specially ordered. We order them a couple weeks in advance, and then they ship them to us. So as soon as we get them, we bring them in, separate them, and then chocolate color them.
So the dough is made only
Just for us.
Yes. Not like a cookie cutter. Don't get pushed out in the
Rachel back, YaJagoff Late Night, our last episode of 2023, and it's not even a sad episode, it's a great episode.
Yeah.
And so many people think about, you're going to change your lifestyle in 2024, and then you end up throwing your clothes over top of your treadmill for the next year and all those kind of stuff. But we have somebody here who's going to help us change that mindset, and all in a fun way. So welcome to the podcast. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Michelle, go ahead, say your last name.
Parolini.
Look at you. I knew you could do
we just
it.
did it 9 seconds before
Michelle,
we went live.
It is so funny that you are coming on next because we're coming out of our Jeet Jet segment. I don't know if you know what our Jeet Jet is, but we have jag braggers who go to different parts of the city and they talk about how great it is. They brag. And so our Jeet Jet was Marcus, who went to a candy castle called
Rosalind's Candy Castle.
Yeah.
And,
have you been there?
in New Brighton, Beaver County.
Yeah.
And it looks super great. So we might run down there tonight.
We won't.
Before we sign up for Row
start
House
with you.
I like
Monday,
that.
Right? Does that
you know
make
what?
sense?
It's all about balance.
Look, you were ready.
All about
you Leslie Bonsied me.
I know she just.
I was at
she just
Sarah's
channeled.
Candy yesterday. So.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go.
So listen, a little background obviously is that we know you from Cousin Lisa. Everyone knows Cousin Lisa.
Cousin Lisa.
And Cousin Lisa has brought us around Row House plenty of times. And we've participated in some of the great, incentives, initiatives that you guys have done. We were the last ones to row. Your whole team was like, for the love of God and all that's good.
Do you need
get
more
on
arms?
the row machine and get them the hell
Right.
out of here because
Right.
it was for the Lemieux Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So you do things like this all the time to engage people to kind of see the good you can do. You're community based.
Yes.
But also because you want them to understand how row is something that they can really get into. And it's like you're tricking them into health, right?
Yeah,
'Cause it's
I
a
guess.
fun thing.
But you're
Yeah,
making it social, making it fun, right?
Yeah,
That's kind of like the thing. And this new, well, first of all, where is Row House? And tell us how long you guys have been around. You're not just a fly-by-night organization.
We are not. So Row House Corporate, we've been around for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
In Pittsburgh, our row house in the Block Northway, the very first franchise location. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
And we have some of the most amazing coaches. We have a coach crew of 8, but we've been around for a while. And we are part of the Exponential Fitness brands. So the other brands in our network would be like Stretch Labs, Cycle Bar, Pure Bar. So we're not a fly-by-night operation. We are a high-intensity, music-driven workout, which is, I think, what a lot of people don't recognize. It's a full-body workout. So you don't just row.
Right.
You
That's
do
the trickery,
weights,
see?
you do floor work, you do a lot of really great stuff. It's trickery at its finest.
At its finest. But I think people hear row and it's like, oh, I don't want to work my arms, right?
Yes.
And then even for us, when we sat in it and we were not heckled by your team at all, they were lovely to us, but we heckled each other like, Jesus, well, Kelly and Lisa did. But, we realized very quickly that you're using parts, like you said, that you don't even realize. So talk about what you're working out so that people understand.
Rowing it's sort of crazy like that. Everybody thinks it's upper body, and it's not. It is 60% legs, 30% body, and only 10% arms. But the cool thing is your core is active 100% of the time. So if you're looking for core conditioning, you can get nothing better than rowing, okay? But the cool thing about rowing, building, it engages 86% of the muscles in your body. So 86%. Yeah. Unless you're swimming, You're not getting that full body workout on any other piece of equipment,
Wow.
on any other workout. It's also low impact, so it's sustainable. Something you can do for a long period of time with easy impact on the joints.
And for your place, you can sign up. It's like a gym in a way that you can come in for this class at early, late, midday. You want to cut out of work for lunch and not go to Arby's. I don't know why you would do that. No, I get it.
You went to
no.
Arby's and hated it.
I know.
Yeah.
And
Well, they have
but
the meats,
you have,
right?
They have the meats, right? And you have the meat sweats. So,
Where's this going? Let me bring you back.
But anyways, you have a full schedule.
I
I got you
get
right.
you. I
I
get
have the
you.
full schedule. You have the full
Yes.
schedule. It makes it convenient for anybody to come.
Totally, and it's efficient. So in 45 minutes, we have 5 different class types that range from high intensity intervals all the way through to mobility, flexibility, and core work. So everything in between, which is kind of cool because depending on where you are in your fitness journey, your coaches can help you find the right class to start with, and then what class to go forward for from there.
Yeah. Got it.
It's great. And I've obviously watched through Cousin Lisa for quite a few years and seen just how much it becomes a discipline. And I think that's the key, right? And so that's a great segue to kind of go into 2024. Everybody gets their I'm going to lose 40 pounds in the next 3 months. Well, that's do it, like you said, with balance, right?
Yes.
You have to kind of do it responsibly and with sense. Same with what you're talking about. So you're using a movie, right? Talk about this amazing correlation. So George Clooney, who's like the hottest guy ever, is the impetus for you to kind of not trick, but get people into the first of the year. Like, don't make this a flash in the pan resolution. Make it part of your lifestyle.
Totally. And there's a couple of things that you said earlier. So when we did our Mario Lemieux Foundation row, which we did that full marathon, and it was a group of people. So one thing that Row House really focuses on is community, and not just building community inside the row room. We always say that if you can build a strong community inside the row room, you can build a strong community outside. So those 25 people that come to class, if you can build that really strong community with them, they get to go and speak that into their communities, right? And so it's an exponential growth.
Sure. And
which
you've heard
is
Cousin
really
Lisa speak,
amazing.
so
Oh, yeah.
yikes. Yeah.
Yeah,
She lost
totally.
672 pounds.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yes.
Rowing.
She's like this big now.
Yeah.
But one of the cool things that you said was at the end, everybody jumped on to help out. So Boys in the Boat is a really amazing movie, 10 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, y'all, get there. It's awesome. I read the book. My full-time job, I am the manager of coach development for Row House Corporate.
Oh, okay.
So I write all the training. I train all the coaches across the country. And the cool thing, when we used to do live trainings, we would always give away that book at the end. Because it was important for us to sort of ingrain the fact that we're authentic to the sport of rowing. And the sport of rowing is more than rowing. It speaks to resiliency, dedication, and teamwork. And if you go see that movie, you're going to see that. And I think the most important thing that anyone can do when they put forth a 2024 resolution, and I say that with air quotes.
She's air quoting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I always say don't create a resolution, create a revolution for yourself. Right? So that determination that you have, that resiliency that you have, find a place that's going to give you that final nugget, that teamwork. And that's Row House.
Yeah.
You're going to come in, you're going to row and swing with the people around you. It's an effort-based machine. So the person next to you could be rowing in power and you could just be coasting along until you learn. Right? So that's the cool thing. You get to be a part of something greater than yourself. And I think now, more than ever, don't we all need that?
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just want to run through a wall right now.
Wow, I know. So where does everybody find out about this initiative and everything else from Row House?
Well, they can stop by our studio. You can always check us out on The Row House, ROWHOUSE.com, and go to the North Hills location. We have 5 different class types. It'll show you on our website all the different class types. What it doesn't show you on our website is the impact. So you have to come into the studio for that. If somebody comes to us and mentions this podcast, we'll give you a free week of classes.
There you go.
All right,
Don't
a
say
free
you're John
week of
All
classes.
Right.
So, yeah, we want you to experience it.
That's so cool.
Because you go in this room and you're with these people that love to have new people.
But I love that you're using something that is trending, but it wasn't for you because you were already familiar with the book, and that was sort of your lifeline.
Totally.
Yeah, that's so cool. I didn't realize that part. What a great story. All right, go ahead to the junk drawer. I know.
All right, do you have a junk drawer
I do.
item for us?
I do. I actually
It's a row machine. No.
It is.
What do you call that? It's what's the row machine called?
The erg.
Oh,
erg.
The ergometer.
Okay.
I should have brought that.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Because I don't use it. So this is a water bottle, but this is our Resolve to Row water bottle.
Okay.
And inside there's a lot of really cool stuff.
Nice.
This apparently has been sitting in my cupboard for quite some time. So it is yours
We
now.
gladly accept it. Thank you very much.
We
That's
will rock,
awesome.
paper, scissor on who's getting.
That's right.
There's
right.
lots. There's a
water
beer
out of
koozie
it.
in there and everything.
I love it.
I like it. All right,
love
cool.
it. There's a beer
All right,
koozie.
so now we go to our question of the day.
Yes.
So the question, did you hear it earlier?
I did.
Okay.
You were not in a soundproof
Are you
booth.
prepared to answer it, or would you like us to repeat the
I
question?
am. You
Okay.
can repeat the
Go ahead,
question.
repeat
All
the
right.
question.
All right. Repeat the question is, when in high school, what were you voted most likely to do?
So my high school didn't do the most likely.
Okay.
Quit. Both you and Stacy
But
was like, well,
they did give
Yeah.
awards out.
Okay.
Oh.
And I did win an award for the nicest eyes.
Oh, wow.
Is that right? There you go.
Look at those
See these
So
papers?
if you're listening,
Look at those
if you're
papers.
listening on the radio or the podcast, make sure you go look at the Facebook or YouTube.
Go look at
videos
our
and
eyes,
Check
yeah.
out our eyes. Yeah.
Check it out.
Zoom in on those.
Yeah. So we're super excited about this initiative, and we've again seen it firsthand. It's a great community. The people, they rally around it.
Yes.
And you're a big reason why, because they just enjoy your leadership is
Thank you.
truly, impeccable. So thank you so much. So check out the movie, but more importantly, check out Row House so that you can find out how you can have a new 2024 and be the new you.
Love it.
All
There
right,
you go.
now is the time when we sing karaoke. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hit the song, Johnny. No, I'm
no,
just
just kidding.
No. Well, thank you again. One more time where they could find the Row House online.
Yes. therowhouse.com.
Yeah.
And
all
just
right.
click on the North Hills location.
Thank
Can't
you.
wait.
That's
And
your
then-
New Year resolution, everybody. All right. We're coming back from YaJagoff Late Night next with Allante.
I've been thinking that Rohrich Automotive needs a new jingle.
Rohrich Automotive got the best cars around Pittsburgh.
Driving a Rohrich, I bought it at Rohrich. Picked up my new car at Rohrich Automotive. I got friends at Rohrich Automotive where the staff is nice and the dealership's loaded with brand new cars. And you can drive real far.
Mancini's Bakery, 97 years in business and still getting better. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you will see various Pittsburgh personalities like Gretchen McKay, Super Bowl MVP Santonio Holmes, KDKA's own Mary Hours, and WPXI's Jenna Harner, learning how to make the famous Italian twist bread. Follow Mancini Bakery on Instagram and Facebook, and remember to ask for Mancini's.
Hey, it's Monica. We're hanging over at Flower Power in Allison Park with Amy for this week's Where You At. Amy, what's going on?
Not much. We got a little camp going on because of winter break, but just teaching some classes here and there.
That's very cool. Okay, so tell me all about Flower Power, how it started and what it is exactly.
So Flower Power is basically family cooking. We do cooking classes for all ages, starting at age 2.5, all the way up through adults. We do classes, parties, kids' night outs where you could drop your kid off and have date night. We do, at some of the adult events and even like the older kids, we do Iron Chef cook-offs, which is a lot of fun. Kids will compete in the kitchen and create something that they had no idea that they could create. And we also do like cupcake wars. In fact, they did cupcake wars a little while ago where we give them all the tools and everything to decorate and compete. And we do cake decorating here, cake decorating classes. So we do a lot.
Back to you, Jagoff Late Night. And I don't know, this one's like kind of crazy. It's the last
Apparently.
one. It's bad luck for good luck, as a matter of fact. So we have to thank Monica and thank you to Amy from Flower Power up there in Allison Park, because we actually did one of our last podcasts in the field there. And then Monica's like, I have to go check that place out again.
She loved it. Yeah. And Amy's actually one of the folks who visit us, so you can come. She brought a New Year's pretzel.
And thank you
can
to
come
Dryer
to
Vent
5,000.
Wizard, who also
Nickname.
sponsors the Jeep Jets and Where You At. Now, let's get to the meat of the order here. We have,
Clear the time.
Rachel, before this all starts, Rachel takes the job of the producer, where she kind of tells everybody, here's what's about to happen, here's what you can do, here's what those kind of things. And the guy who is one of the two people who does that for Talk Pittsburgh is Allante. Allante, welcome to you, Jagoff.
Hello, thank you for having me.
I love the fact that we can just say you flew in just for this show.
I did, absolutely.
Isn't that cute? I know. But I feel like I pale in comparison. I didn't want you to say that because you're like, Rachel takes on the producer. Monica, Johnny, Tracy, Michaela, like they're the people who do this. I just have a big mouth. So I've been nominated to say, here's how it goes. You do a lot more than that. And I love it. Like what I love about you being behind the scenes and a couple of times, a handful of times with you, is that you look at the situation and you may have it set in your mind a certain way. And in the drop of a hat, it changes. And you're like, all right, this is going to change right now.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. This job keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
Every day is something new. It's never the same. And that's what I love about it. You just have to be flexible. You have to be willing to pivot.
Yes.
Just like Friends, just like Ross.
Right.
And pivot.
Right.
So that's what I do every day. Yeah.
Allante, so people don't know really what goes into the job. So tell us, like, what's the routine? You get up in the morning, you show up at work, and these emails are waiting for you, or this kind of stuff is hitting the fan.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. What is your routine during the day?
Yeah. So basically what happens is that me and our other producer, Maggie, we put together Talk Pittsburgh, airs every day at 3 on KDKA. And the format of our show now is that we record the show in the morning from 10:30 to 11:30 in the morning. And then that show airs that same day at 3 p.m. from 3 to 4. And so basically when I get in, I have to make sure all the guests are situated who we're having on that day and make sure they know what's going on. So I am that person to basically make a big speech saying, hey, this is how the show is formatted. This is what we're doing today. And hopefully make them feel comfort, make them feel at home, make them feel at ease. I know some people are not used to television, so I want to ease those nerves. I want to make them feel all right. And obviously, I work with Heather Abraham, who is a gem, and she does that herself. But hopefully, if I can add that little bit of comfort before the show, that's helpful. And
well, you said it perfectly, because PTL's been around for quite some time. It's been, the torch has been passed to some remarkable people.
Yeah.
When Heather was almost a year, March will be a year, when Heather, launched this, it was kind of like no one knew what to expect.
Right.
And it is the everyday person. You're not seeing the celeb types that you're kind of used to seeing on PTL more.
Right.
You're seeing the everyday person who is going through the everyday things that we are.
Absolutely.
And so the fact that you add that layer of comfort is huge. And that was one of the first things we noticed walking in there. You literally put that mood. You said it. And you're like, listen, here's how it's going to be. Welcome. Would you like something to drink? You're going to be in the studio. Those are important things for people,
Yeah. And, when we launched this show last March, nobody knew what to expect. We had an idea.
Right.
As you said, PTL has been around. They're actually celebrating their 20th year next year. Be on the lookout for something special for that. But yeah, we just wanted to be this. We wanted this show to be something that people were proud of, that they could watch it and feel like they were able to have these same conversations at home, open up that dialogue to our viewers, provide some entertainment, just like PTL, but a little different, have more conversations.
Right.
And it's just turned into something we never expected, but we're so proud of. And
you should be.
And I've got to collaborate with you two a number of times, which has been so exciting for me. It's been a true honor.
You're so sweet.
You were in news, in front of the camera for a while, but from your perspective, how unique is it to have a PTL, a Talk Pittsburgh, a locally produced, essentially live show every day, 5 days a week? Is that very unique in the market?
It is. It's so special.
It's unique in this market.
It definitely is. And I feel like a lot of shows like PTL, like Talk Pittsburgh, they have, those sponsored segments, which we have a few of those, but a lot of them come from California, from Texas, from all over the country. It's not localized. And I think what's so special about Pittsburgh Today Live, what's so special about Talk Pittsburgh, is that these things are local. These are our people here. These are Yinzers. These are people from Western PA who are doing these great things. And you don't get that everywhere, especially with a lifestyle show.
Yeah.
You'll get a lot of nationally sponsored segments.
Sure.
You'll get a lot of things that are not
Relevant.
relevant
Yeah.
to you. And I think it's so special to have something that's our own, our people, our businesses, our things that we're proud of, our sports teams, everything like that. So,
And you're from Wisconsin.
I'm from Wisconsin, born and
Yeah.
raised the
I
Dairy
hear
State.
It. I hear it.
You hear it a little bit?
A little bit. But why here? So how did you end up? Because like John said, you were a Heather Abraham. You were an entertainment reporter, lifestyle reporter, and you know we have pictures to show that he met Dolly Parton.
I did. Eat your heart out, David Highfield.
Yeah, David who? TH. I think that's amazing. But things like the original Power Rangers, going on and kind of really walking that beat of what fun entertainment is. So why the change?
Yeah, I actually started out as a producer.
Oh, okay.
I started out as a producer in Wisconsin. I had an internship right before my senior year of college at a station in my college town. And I was lucky enough to work there all through my senior year. And then I got hired right after graduation. So I worked there for a total of 5 years as a producer. And then my last job there was as a producer. And then it was a dual role as a reporter as well. So I produced the show and then be a reporter. But I always knew that I wanted to not specifically do news because I just don't really have the personality for that. I have, I've been really into entertainment and music and arts and food all my life. So that's what I really wanted to get into.
And you've even had that chance on Talk. Heather has sent you to like the Scare House. And things like that.
I was scared indeed. I jumped out of my shoes.
I know
Absolutely.
you did. I love it. I love
Wait till we get you to the row house.
I know.
Yeah, we're going to.
Oh my gosh. My arms are going to be so tired. But
Only
I'm gonna do
10%
it.
arms, right?
Right.
Michelle,
Absolutely.
10% arms.
Yeah.
So I think the cool thing is, being a reporter, there's some skills that are different than being behind the scenes. But the skill that I think carries over that I watch or observe that you have is that you bring calmness to everybody, right? Like when you're a reporter, all this might be hitting the fan, but then you have to go, hi, everybody, right? And you do the same thing. Like, you're running around grabbing a last-minute piece of Mancini's bread to get onto the set from John and Rachel, and then you're running around doing this. In the meantime, you go, hi, I'm Allante, and I'm here to tell you what's going to happen today. Is that a skill you learned, or is that a life skill you kind of grew up with?
I think it's something I learned, and I think if you ever see me off camera, if you see me out in public, I'm pretty chaotic. I am not. I like to think of myself as like calm, cool, collected. I'm chaotic. I'm chaos.
Okay.
In a good way, I hope so. But
organized chaos.
Organized chaos for sure.
Life. Yeah.
But in one way or another, the show is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's on every day at 3. So no matter what's going on behind the scenes, in front of the camera, the show is still going on. We still have a product to put on the air.
Sure.
And so why not roll with the punches?
Yeah.
Why not be that calmness and whatever chaos is going on behind the scenes, whatever. And so that's just the way I go into it. I feel like I have the responsibility of being that controlled chaos.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because we were just having this off-camera discussion, sort of hand signals with Johnny. Do you kind of love the chaos? I guess, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
You
I love the
kinda thrive on it.
unpredictability. I love it.
But do you love Pittsburgh?
I do love Pittsburgh. I was just
Woo! I was hoping he
bleep
answered
him
right.
out.
Yeah, right.
I was telling everybody off camera, Pittsburgh is a quirky little town. That's the best way to describe it.
Sure.
It's quirky.
Yeah.
Because there are so many things that are just very specific to Pittsburgh, to Western PA.
Yeah.
The sayings, the food,
God.
everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't really get it when I first got here. I was like, why are things this way? And why do people not know right from wrong? It is slippery. It's not slippy.
Right.
There's just these things that I'm like, that's
why don't
not
they
correct.
use the verb to be?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand.
Why
Right.
why we say tan? And I don't even say it right. That's how you know I'm not
Or
funny.
flower power.
And
We went to flower power.
Yeah. You
I
know, where are the vowels?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're just missing.
If
They're
you
up
go-
in the air.
If you ask somebody where is flower power, they will go, I don't even know what you're
I've never
talking
heard
about.
of that in
Right,
my
right.
life.
I don't even know how to spell it.
What is
right.
that?
But-
All right. So we have a question of the day.
Yeah.
Are you willing to answer our question of the day?
Absolutely.
So it is about what were you most likely to win in high school? What were you voted to be
Or what
most likely
award
to?
or what? Because we're certainly not
yeah,
asking.
because
right.
it seems like nobody went to the right high schools according to
Right.
racist rules.
Right. Well, I actually did have superlatives in my
Okay.
high school. Did I win? No. Should I? Yeah. But I digress. I think, you know what? I think the generic one would be most likely to be on TV. I
Okay,
feel
yeah.
like a lot of people thought I would do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Be in like movies or TV, something on the screen.
Okay.
But I think.
And look at you. Yeah.
Here I am.
Yeah.
But I think if I were to choose one for myself, it would be most likely to be adaptable. I feel like
Yeah, you
I
are
love where you
that.
twisted
with
it.
TV,
Yeah.
you know, that what we were just talking about being flexible, about being willing to roll with the punches. But also I feel like one of the special skills that I have, and we can talk about cousin Lisa, she has a special skill with Pac-Man. You know, I wish we could put that on a resume, right?
Chick, get into everything we do.
Everything.
Everything we
We
do.
love her. We love her.
Oh,
Right.
God.
CL for short, just so you know.
Right?
Yeah.
But I
CL.
feel like I'm able to connect easily with different people from different groups, different
Yes.
ethnicities, different backgrounds. And I think that's a real special skill. And I don't
is.
take light of that. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
Especially
really,
not being from here, in all
Yeah.
seriousness, because Pittsburgh, we're tough. If you're not from here, it's
Yeah.
like, how long you been here?
Right.
You know, and you're not even a year, so you're
Yeah.
a lucky dude.
I am. And everybody's been very kind, so I really appreciate it. And everybody has that 6 degrees of separation in Pittsburgh.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
everybody knows everybody.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just trying to weave my way in there, and I think I'm doing it. So
Well,
We
I'm happy.
adore you. We
appreciate-
really
yeah,
do.
We
I
love
adore
working
you
with you.
guys.
So
You're
do you
a
have
gem.
something for our junk drawer?
I do.
Cough it up, Allante.
I
What do you have?
So I have 2 things.
Oh, my God. He
Oh,
brought 2
sweet.
So
things.
We're
I
gonna
feel
have
like
to
this
expand our
could-
junk drawer.
Yeah.
I feel like this could go either way for both
Okay.
of you, but I'm going to start with John.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So, John, the last time
prepared
you
to
were on,
accept.
or you were in studio for Talk Pittsburgh, we were with Nick Mancini.
Yes.
And
I got trapped
we,
in a-
yeah, and we had to bring in the big thing to set up the bread
Oh
art.
God, yeah.
So I feel like that's like building things. We didn't assemble it, but you know, we were building things.
Yeah.
And I feel like you easily build people up.
Oh, wow.
So I brought you this little. It's a KDKA, but it's a little hard
Aren't
hat.
you?
It's
So
like
that's
the
for
Wizard
you,
of
John.
Oz. I feel like we're on the
Thank
Wizard
you.
of Oz.
Yeah.
I'm going to
you,
click
yeah.
my heels.
And
What
you're
did
gonna
I
get a heart, right?
Yeah.
What do I get? Allante?
Now for Rachel.
Oh, crap.
Rachel, I feel like you are a true visionary. You have these
Oh.
visions, you have these big plans that you want to set up, and you always, whenever you email me, I love it because you're like, we can do this and this, but we can also do this. We can do this.
Right?
Whatever you want to do.
Yes.
And I love that. But also
no.
the last time you were on Talk Pittsburgh,
Yes, what
do you
I
remember
do?
you found your glasses? I think you're wearing them right now.
Yes, I did. I
Yes.
found them.
And
Thank
so
God.
I don't know if these quite fit the bill, but you have your little pink pair of glasses.
Oh, my
So
God.
for
I
those
If you ever
listening,
need a replacement.
he just gave you pink heart glasses.
glasses.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know me, with
Because she had
heart.
lost her glasses for months, and
Yes.
we found
She
them on
did.
the set.
Yeah.
I love that you
So those are
remembered
for you.
that.
Absolutely.
Allante, you're phenomenal. Where can everybody find out more about you?
Yeah, I mean, first off, watch Talk Pittsburgh on KDKA. You can do that every weekday at 3 p.m. All of our segments are posted online, so check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, Talk Pittsburgh, www.kdka/talkpittsburgh.com/talkpittsburgh. If you're looking for me, I guess, you can find me on Instagram at Allante Walker, on Facebook at Allante Walker TV.
There you
And
go.
yeah,
I love them.
We
check
love
out the
it.
show.
We need to have you
Happy
back.
New
You're
Year to you.
fabulous.
Happy New Year to you
for our
guys.
gifts.
Thank
We're
you.
going to do a little music next on YaJagoff Late Night.
If my younger self could see me doing these things now, I wouldn't believe it. To be a steam fitter, you need to be a problem solver. You can do instrumentation, hydronics, chillers, rigging, HVAC. I have this wonderful opportunity to grow my career.
It's not what you are that makes you a steam fitter. It's who you are. Over 100 years, and we're just getting started.
I've been thinking that Rohrich Automotive needs a new jingle.
Rohrich Automotive got the best cars around Pittsburgh. Driving a Rohrich, I bought it at Rohrich. Picked up my new car at Rohrich Automotive. I got friends at Rohrich Automotive, where the staff is nice and the dealership's loaded with brand new cars, and you can drive real far.
Hey, John and Rachel, Scott Tatey, Beaver County Times. It's time for the 412s to do. I'm standing here, the northern tip of the Ohio River. Water doesn't look too cold right now, so if you're ever gonna do the polar bear plunge, this might be the weekend to do it. Come on, the water's probably like 48 degrees. They're having it, as always, January 1st at the Mon Wharf, 9:30 a.m., free. They will be selling t-shirts though. If you want to get a commemorative shirt, then it goes to Project Bundle Up, so good cause. But yeah, get in that water. I did the polar bear plunge once. You don't know what the words breathtaking truly mean until you hit that water. Woo. We're also excited. It's New Year's Eve, the place to be, the Cultural District in Pittsburgh. That 14-block area is going to be hopping from 6 p.m. to midnight on New Year's Eve. Lindsay Smith is the great headliner, Pittsburgh native. They call her the goddaughter of soul. Has a really powerful voice. Big fan of hers. Of course, there'll be live entertainment everywhere. There'll be the Street Magic outside Liberty Magic. And the Harris Theater will be showing shorts of Popeye and Betty Boop. Sounds fun, right? I am what I am, Popeye. Other things, I like to talk about Beaver County, of course. It's where we are. There is a New Year's Eve celebration at the Promise Blend, a coffee shop. Yeah, every bar is doing the midnight champagne toast, but one of the Valley's best coffee shops, the Promise Blend in New Brighton, having a countdown. They're going to celebrate, have the midnight ball drop, and all kinds of coffee. Hey, well, why not start the year off with without a hangover? It'll be caffeinated. Of course, there's other things. Jurgles has a concert. Harmony in Butler County, they have what they call the Harmony Silver Star celebration. It's a German celebration. So they count down to 6 p.m., which is when it strikes midnight in Germany. And there'll be a pork and sauerkraut dinner. James and Deborah Tobin are the headliners musically. And there's a Christmas tree toss. Not quite sure what that is, but get on board with throwing a Christmas tree. All right, John and Rachel, whatever you guys do on New Year's Eve, I hope it's fun.
John and Rachel, YaJagoff Late Night. We are now in the kitchen because that means we are at our music segment, and we get to talk to Drew
Before
Bentley.
We do that, say thank you to Scott Tatey.
I will do, John. I was going there. Yes, Scott Tatey. He's the Tatio of the radio. I love whenever he comes on because he has such great things to say, and everyone's doing these year-end wrap-ups. Yeah. No one better than him because he's seen every type of music performance. So thanks to him. But we're going to chat with Drew Bentley because listen, I did a little background on Drew. You're like this musician extraordinaire because you don't just play in bands. You actually teach both from a brick and mortar standpoint where people can come to you as well as YouTube, right?
Correct. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've had the same lesson studio for 18 and a half years that I own. There's like 12 employees, 2 locations.
Yeah.
I'm teaching for 26 or 27 years full time.
Wow.
For
and
my
how
day
do you
job.
even get into that? The teaching.
Well, I was a guitar major in college, and I kind of waited tables for a while, and I finally figured out how to make money doing this because I learned how to play, but I didn't learn how to.
How did you learn how to play? Was it self-taught, or did you actually get lessons yourself?
Well, I started when I was 9, and then I saw Kiss when I was 9 years old. So I smashed my guitar to pieces trying to be Ace Frehley. So that didn't work out that well. So I put some nails on this guitar neck, and I played it for a couple of years, and my parents took pity on me. And so for my 16th birthday, or 16th Christmas, I got my first electric guitar, and I sat there and played Iron Maiden for like 6 hours straight under the tree. That was it. And I haven't put it down since.
Wow.
Non-stop.
So you started all this self-learning before there was YouTube. Now you're a YouTube guy, which is
well, if
cool,
you can't
right?
beat them, join them, then beat them, right?
Isn't that the truth? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a COVID thing. I've been teaching brick and mortar lessons and playing a bunch of different wedding bands and play all these gigs. And I was stuck at home teaching Zoom lessons. I'm like, I got to do something else. We had all these backing tracks. That's when the YouTube channel sort of started. And now it's like my favorite thing. I love it.
I was just going to say, and I read one of your posts, you said, this is really like a day-to-day grind, right? Just really focusing on the whole YouTube thing, because once you get people's attention, you have it, but it's growing that audience, right?
Well, it's kind of a machine, literally a machine, but you have to kind of learn how to work the algorithm.
Sure.
So you have all these tools to help you find the best thing to put forward, but ultimately it's about what you believe in. You got to teach what you believe in, and if you're true to yourself and you're really being honest with it, it works out. People can see that you really care.
Yeah.
Because I care. I want to help people. Some guy in France just gave me a tip for teaching a guitar lesson in France. It's like,
really?
Wow. That's the kind of stuff people all over the world, Australia, Africa, everywhere. People are like taking lessons.
What's a tip that you just recently got from someone not here?
A tip?
Yeah.
Don't walk in front of a moving train.
I knew that was coming.
I mean,
you set that up so high.
Right, and you slam dunked it.
I was connecting with you. I sang with the Bastard Bearded Irishman, and now
what is
it's
one
over.
song? What is one song that when people say, "I want you to teach me how to play this song," or one song you get requested when you're out playing, you go, "Oh my God, no!"
Okay, so this happened yesterday in a lesson. This kid walked in, and I didn't look up. I was like, okay, we can do a song today, but no Nirvana. And I look up, and he's wearing a Nirvana T-shirt. And he's got the hat. He looks like he crawled out of a Starbucks in 1992. I was like, oh, yeah, Nirvana's great, dude. There was one time we were playing a gig, and somebody asked for a Skynyrd song, right? Somebody else gave us $20 to stop playing the Skynyrd song. Another note happened. I was like, okay.
That is so
It's always Freebird. Every single time, there's always a Freebird person.
Yeah.
Every time. I mean, every wedding, even Freebird.
Right.
And I saw that you kind of theme your lessons, like you have an 80s thing, that kind, or is it your music that you theme?
No, that's the lessons.
Okay, for the lessons. Yeah. Do you have one in particular that you love? Like you kind of are like, maybe we'll do this
to teach?
Yes.
Well, Stairway to Heaven's always great because that's a journey for a student. So there's a bunch of staples. There's like 1,000 guitar solos you have to know. 1,000 songs you have to know, so you can kind of categorize everything. There was a list that came out on Rolling Stone of the top 250 guitarists.
Saw that, yeah.
It is so bogus and wrong, so I made my own list.
And you made sure people knew.
Well, not yet.
Yeah,
but I made the actual list of the real players, and it's going to come out because it's like these are the real people that you should be listening to.
Oh, yeah, he was mad. I was sort of like scouring your social, and I was like, oh, you are not happy about this list.
I wasn't happy because it's not even accurate at all.
Yeah.
Like any guitar player would tell you that.
See, we know this kind of thing because the word Jagoff got put into the Oxford Dictionary, and it's wrong. It's only the negative side. They don't know the Yinzer part where, hey, how have you been, you Jagoff?
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's a term of endearment.
We're in a fight. We're
for
in a
you
similar
Chicago
fight with
and
you.
Wisconsin people.
Yeah. All right, so where does everybody...
interesting.
You're going to play a song for us, but where does everybody find you online?
You go to drewbentley.com or Drew Bentley Guitar is the YouTube channel, and you can find... Here, do I do it?
Do it,
Give us your junk drawer, bro.
It's not junk. This is my latest CD.
I love it.
Shrink wrapped, still brand new.
Okay. Thank you.
Weighs in at a certain, I don't know. Anyway,
thank you.
Nice.
That's a great
non-junk
drawer.
In high school,
Non-junk
most
drawer.
likely to...
Be a rock star.
Yeah.
Were you really?
And you're living it.
No.
On your Jagoff podcast.
You made it up?
Right now.
I love that you just made that up because you wanted to be...
It's inevitable. I've been into guitar since the very first time I saw when I fell in love with it. I was like, this is the greatest thing in the world. I love guitar every single minute of my life. Still 100% into it all day long.
And you're going to do an instrumental, right?
I am. It's called Bird's Eye View.
Cool.
A Bird's Eye View from the J.D. Strum record. It came out in 2004, I believe, and I played this guitar on WDVE on the morning show. It's the last time I played this one on the radio. So
I love it. Okay.
So we're going to go to a commercial, and then we're going to hear the song.
Thank you.
YaJagoff Late Night.
I've been thinking that Rohrich Automotive needs a new jingle.
Rohrich Automotive got the best cars around Pittsburgh. Driving a Rohrich, I bought it at Rohrich. Picked up my new car at Rohrich Automotive. I got friends at Rohrich Automotive where the staff is nice and the dealership's loaded with brand new cars. And you can drive real far.
Mancini's Bakery, 97 years in business and still getting better. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you will see various Pittsburgh personalities like Gretchen McKay, Super Bowl MVP Santonio Holmes, KDKA's own Mary Hours, and WPXI's Jenna Harner, learning how to make the famous Italian twist bread. Follow Mancini Bakery on Instagram and Facebook, and remember to ask for Mancini's.
needed that when I was in traffic today. I needed that.
Mellow.
Drew Bentley, thank you
so
so much. Yeah, and a thank you to Allante Walker. Thank you to
Stacy. Thank you to Michelle. We had a great night. Thank you. And Happy New Year. But most importantly, thank you so much, Rohrich Automotive and Dryer Vent Wizard, as well as People's Gas, all of our sponsors. We can't wait for 2024. Have an amazing weekend and watch next year.
Happy New Year.